the familiar voice, and he understands now, maybe I'm not who I thought I was. He looks back at the farm and he looks at the male lion. The male lion begins to walk off, but gives him a nudge as to say, come follow me. The small lion is confused. Do I go back to comfortable ground, or do I go with my identity? The large lion roars again, saying, you know who you are, follow me. But the little lion is used to being raised amongst the sheep. The shepherd now watches the scene is which going on, and he's wondering, is he going to come back to me and be raised among my sheep, or is he going to take his rightful place in the kingdom? One more roar from the big lion, and the little lion follows the voice. That's what God is saying to us today. Many of us have been raised to be sheep, when God has called us to be royalty. Many of us don't understand our identity because of our associations, not realizing God has more for our lives. And so when we don't understand our purpose, our destiny, or our identity, we start settling for something beneath us. Look at your neighbor today in the eyes and say, neighbor, I'm about to tell Goliath, I ain't never scared. Come on, look at him and say, I ain't never scared. Come on, Trey, give it to us. I ain't never scared. Come on, you got to keep saying it, keep saying it, keep saying it. I ain't never scared. Point at him and say, I ain't never scared.
I ain't never scared.
In this year, I'm not afraid. In this year, I'm not scared. I am never afraid. I need you to say it with confidence. Come on, say, I ain't never scared.
I ain't never scared.
Never scared.
Say it again.
I ain't never scared.
One more time.
I ain't never scared.
I gave it to you. You're waiting on the sound. I say it again.
I ain't never scared. Attention.
I ain't never scared. I never scared sings that. So I'm outside of the church and it's coming at me.
What?
So I grab up my good book and turn to Matthew 3.
Come on, come on.
I ain't never scared. I ain't never scared. I ain't never scared. I ain't never scared. 4 rivers on the track. I ain't never scared.
I ain't never scared. I ain't never scared. Attention.
In the background, play in the background. How many of y'all know this ain't the time to be scared?
Go.
Look at them and say, this ain't the time for you to be scared.
This ain't time to be scared.
Tell them, this ain't the time to be emotional.
This ain't the time to be emotional.
This is the time to man up, woman up.
Time to man up, woman up,
and advance the kingdom.
And advance the kingdom.
I ain't never scared.
Go.
I'm going to play that through the background. So I feel like I want to preach. 1 Samuel, the 17th chapter. And the 19th verse says this. Now Saul and his army and all the men of Israel were in the valley of Elah, fighting with the Pharisees. And David arose up in the morning and left the sheep with the keeper and took with him Jesse. And Jesse commanded him, go to give bread and food to your brothers. 21st verse. For Israel and the Philistines had put up the battle in array against each other. And David left the carriage of his hand, the keeper of the carriage, and ran to the army and came to salute his brothers. And as he talked with them, behold, there came with the champion Goliath, who was his name. He came out among them, and he began to throw insults at the people of God. And for 40 days and for 40 nights, he dared any man to come out and to fight him, but no man went down to fight. Repeat after me, I'm not afraid.
I'm not afraid.
In fact, I ain't never scared.
I ain't never scared.
Cut it out.
I like that.
The word Goliath simply means, in the English interpretation, a giant obstacle or an opponent that stands in the way of progress. It is a giant obstacle or an opponent that stands in the way of progress. Goliath comes to our life to be a wedge between our promise and the manifestation. You will always experience Goliath in your process. Before there is promotion, there has to be adversity. And I'm talking about 5 of you right now that you're in the midst of the most adversity you have ever seen. That is because you're so close to the destiny that God has designed for your life. But before you can get from the promise to the manifestation, in the midst of your process, you must face Goliath. There is no running around Goliath. Goliath stands between you and your purpose. Come here, Brother Donnell. Come here, Brother Potts. Run to me as fast as you can. Where David is realizing, you stand right there, you be Goliath. Run behind him. Right behind him. Go behind him. Turn facing me. On that side of him. Behind him. Yeah, stand back a little bit further. Before I can get to the promise, the process, the purpose, which serves as Brother Potts, I must get through Goliath, which is Darnell. The problem is many of us are trying to run around our adversity to get the purpose. You gotta understand that in the process is when you start your training for how you're going to act once you receive the manifestations of God. I wish I had about 5 people here today. So in other words, you can't go around Goliath because as you go around, he's constantly there. You can't go over him because he's bigger than you, and you can't go under him because he's already skilled. You must take out your obstacle in order to get to the promise. The problem is when we get saved, we don't want to face reality. I can help somebody.
Amen.
We don't want to face reality. We don't want to face in our minds that there's going to have to be change in order to move forward in God. And so what we want to do is we want to hide from Goliath, not realizing we're not going anywhere at all. Mother said something very important yesterday. If you stand still, you might as well be going back.
My Lord.
Because going backward, at least you moving. Standing still means you ain't getting nothing done. And so in order to get to where God has for me, I've got to go beyond Goliath. Do you not know how many people are trying to prophesy, lay hands on other folk, and still have not faced the giant in their own life?
My
Can I help the
Lord.
church? Can we go back to old holiness? How many people are singing, jumping, and dancing, but still allowing Goliath to be at their house when they get there? Look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, the Goliath ain't going anywhere. You either fight him or you sit down and do nothing. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Goliath serves as fear. Goliath serves as the thing that is stopping me from getting to where I should be in God. Many people only look at Goliath as people and not look at Goliath as spirits. So whereas you're trying to make a person your Goliath, your anger is really your Goliath. Your depression is really your Goliath. Y'all ain't saying that in a minute. Your low self-esteem is really your Goliath. Standing in the way of you and progress. Understand that Goliath in the Hebrew, and I like this definition. In the Hebrew, the word Goliath means one without a covering. How can I help somebody here today? The reason why some of our lives are spinning so much out of control is because we listening to people without any covering.
My Lord.
I ain't say they didn't go to church. I say they don't have proper covering. A lot of folk go to church but are still not covered by the pastors and all. I wish I had somebody. Are still not covered by God. And so we listen to these people and their ideas and they become the Goliath standing in our way. How many of y'all got some folk in your life that are standing in your way of purpose and you allowing them to stand? One thing that I remember Dr. Hancock says is this. It's a difference in somebody holding you back and you allowing somebody to hold you back. When somebody holds you back, that means they don't understand your purpose. When you allow them to hold you back, that means you don't understand your purpose. Y'all ain't saying that. And so Goliath can be somebody or something that we are allowing to stand in the way. I understand that what makes a giant, y'all been standing for a long time, so get ready. What makes a giant is a threat to your destiny. A giant is a threat to your destiny. Many Goliaths are living in the most prophetic and tongue-talkingest folk in the church. You can deal with other folks' situations, but you still got lustful issues. You still got lonely issues. You still got a Goliath in your way and wondering why your words are falling to the ground. When you don't deal with Goliath first, Goliath continues to haunt your ministry. Every day Goliath is down in the valley shouting insults to the people of God. Isn't it amazing that when we got folk on our own level, we feel superior, but when God brings something that looks a little scary, we begin to sit down and act. Y'all ain't saying anything. We believe God for little things. Y'all ain't saying that. God can pay my bills, but God can't heal nobody no more. And it's because of Goliath in our life. Many of us have gotten afraid to exercise God. But I come to serve notice on the devil today. We are no longer going to be afraid of the obstacle, but we're taking it down.